welcome back for another video. I'm Jess and I'm one of the creative designers here at Sizzix. Today I want to share with you a fun kind of Christmas handmade gift ready for the festive season, so you can get all your crafty bits out and you can make a really nice thoughtful gift. So what I'm going to show you guys how to make is these really cute felt lavender pockets. So these would be perfect for gifting to anybody, any of your loved ones, and they can pop them in their clothes drawers or something like that and make their clothes and all their fabrics smell amazing. They could also be used as a side of the bed or as a kind of pillow stuffer to help somebody get to sleep, because obviously that smell of lavender is amazing. But you can totally change these up with colours and scents, and obviously the personalisation on there. So I'm going to show you guys how to personalise them with some of our sequins and beads and some maybe initials as well. So the main die that I am going to use is that Christmas ornaments die, which is a big die, and I'm going to be using our neutral felt. They're really simple and easy to make, guys. Even if you're not a soft crafter, I'm going to show you guys how to do it without any stitching if you really hate the stitching part, but I am going to show you both ways and some fun ways to kind of personalise them, like I said. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the camera down and move it to an overhead position so you guys can see a little bit more of an in-depth what I'm doing, and don't forget to stay tuned until the end of the video and I'll give you guys my discount code for anything that I've used in this video that you can get some money off when you check out on Sizzix. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to move on to the overhead camera and we'll get started. Okay guys, so to make the lavender pockets or little felt ornaments or whatever you want to use them for, you're going to want the Christmas ornament die by Catherine. This is obviously a bigs die because we are using felt. Bigs are fantastic for cutting fabric and thicker materials with, and you can cut multiple layers at a time, so it's really great. So obviously you get more than what I'm going to use today on the die. So you do get the Christmas tree and the gorgeous little candy cane. I'm going to just use the star, but you could obviously use the other two for different things, whether you're making decorations or you want to have the trees for the lavender pockets or whatever you want. I just thought the stars were relatively generic, so that's what I'm going to use today. And then I'm going to be using our neutral felt. So our felt packs come in 3 different kind of colour combinations. So we have a bold, a pastel and a neutral, and I'm just going for a neutral just because I want it to be relatively sophisticated, I guess. But if you're making it for a child or a different kind of colour scheme that your gift receiver likes the colours of, then there's pretty much colour for everybody. So I'm going to do 3, and what I've done is I literally just cut out squares of the coloured felt that I want, laid them up and popped it through my machine. So it's super easy. I always cut multiple layers at a time when I'm cutting felt with the bigs. You could cut sort of 4, 5, 6 layers if you really wanted to. I tend to do about 2 at a time just to be safe, but you could cut so many layers with these, and that's the kind of shape that you get from that. So I'm not going to run it through the machine because I feel like potentially quite a few of you guys have already seen how to pop a bigs through a die cutting machine. Obviously you can use any die cutting machine that we have here at Sizzix to work with these bigs dies, but if you are curious and you're not quite sure how to roll them through the machine, then there are loads of videos where I have done it before, or if you go on the website there's always more information as well. So I've got my base for my little stars, my little false stars that I'm going to work with, and I'm going to show you 2 different options, whether you are a stitcher or a sewer, or whether you are would prefer to avoid those kind of things completely. Okay, so it's completely up to you. So what I would do first is I would take one of the stars and decide if you're going to add any decorations to them, just to make your life a little bit easier. Okay, so you can do this in loads of different ways. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples. So one I've got here is that I have popped initials on. So these are my initials that I've popped on using same of the natural neutral coloured felt, just in a different tone. And I've actually used the nostalgic alphabet. So this is obviously also a big die because I'm cutting, oh, that's upside down. There we go. I'm cutting fabric, but it's really great to have a alphabet big die, I find, just for bigger letters, a bigger alphabet, and it means that you can cut them from things like your felt and your fabrics and things like that. So I cut out mine, and what I did to make them stick is I used, oh, I'm knocking things over. I used some of our iron-on adhesive. Now this is fantastic for attaching fabric to fabric because it means you're not going to need to use glue and get everything messy, and it means that even these tiny little corners and bits like that are going to firmly stick, because what you do is you take the adhesive and you attach it to the back of felt. So I've got a tiny little piece that I had spare. So you attach it to the back of the felt, and then you apply heat with probably an iron or something like that, and it melts this onto your fabric or your felt, and then you can die cut this with that backing on there, and then when you're ready to attach it to your other kind of material, you just peel off that layer so you've got that kind of shiny element there, and then you place it on top and then apply heat with your iron again, and it melts and sticks together. Okay, so that is kind of like a sticky layer almost. There is instructions on the box and on the website, and actually even on the paper inside it tells you which side you can and can't iron on, so that's super handy. So if you are wanting to pop things like initials or other fabric or felt details onto your little stars, then iron-on adhesive is definitely a good option. But you can also add sort of sequin elements. So I'm just going to use some of our rose gold sequins. So obviously these come in multiple different colours depending on what kind of colour scheme you're going for. So I'm going to go with rose gold to match my kind of neutral theme. And I'm going to use the beads from here. You could use any of the sequins. If you are stitching them on though, you need to use the ones with any holes in. So that would be the beads or these kind of faceted ones, okay? So just bear that in mind, but I'm going to show you guys how you can glue them on as well. So what I'm going to do is I've got a needle and thread. So this is just a thin thread that I've just attached onto my needle and then, knotted up. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to poke my needle through the top, thread my little bead onto my needle, pull it all the way, and then I'm going to go down exactly pretty much where I came up with my needle. So you're not going to see hardly any of that. So again, just come up in a different area, kind of try and space them out a little bit. I hope you can see this, guys. It's super easy, even if you're not a big stitcher or soft crafter. It's really easy to just attach these little beads on, because you don't have to tie off your thread each time. And just don't pull too tight, because then it means the thread will sort of gather up, but other than that it's pretty foolproof. So you can keep going. Ooh. She says foolproof. There we go. So you can keep going with that and then literally just knot it up when you are finished at the back. I would cover the whole thing, or you can use a glue gun. So if you're really not a fan of stitching, you don't have any needles or thread in your house, what you can do is just glue gun them on. So what I would do is I'd take some tweezers, I would pick up one of these beads, add a little bit of hot glue on the back, and then just place it down where you want it. I would use a hot, I'm dropping my glue gun. I would use a hot glue gun just as it's a little bit more secure. And that's what I will say about stitching. It is a little bit more secure. It means that they're probably going to last on your little felt stars longer, but like I said, you can glue them on and that's not going to go anywhere. I'll just pull off any of the kind of glue gun strings that you might get and it's attached just the same. So that's completely up to you. So I would keep going until you have it all covered, okay? And then we can start to attach these together. So I'm just going to tie off my thread at the back and then just trim it off like so. And then we can attach these together. So I'll just line them up, move that example out of the way, line them up, and then I can get my thicker needle and my thicker thread. So this is like an embroidery thread, so this is a little bit thicker, so you do need a thicker needle with a bigger kind of eye hole to get that thicker thread through. But you can normally buy a pack of needles and they kind of work across the board. So what I would do is I'll go in between at first, pull it through, because what we want is we want the knot on the inside. Okay, we don't want the knot showing on the outside. So kind of make sure they're lined up all the way along, and then just pop that through, and then bring it out the other side slightly across, and just pull it tight. And literally you want to just keep going. It's like just as going in as a slight diagonal, I guess. Just keep going. And literally you just want to do that the whole way around. Again, I'm going to get out my trusty glue gun for those guys who really don't like sewing. But honestly, if you've never give sewing a go or stitching, anything like that, this is a really easy project to kind of dip your toe in. So just bear that in mind. I'm trying to bring it up to close to the camera, guys, so you can see a little bit better as well. Okay. So I could do that all the way around, or I can glue gun it. So again, getting my glue gun, and then just literally thin line of glue along the outside, and I will do it just kind of bit by bit, making sure it perfectly lines up. So the only thing with a glue gun is it is a touch messier, but it's actually a lot quicker. So again, pros and cons to both methods, okay? So what you want to do is you want to go around all the way and leave a small opening. So on the one that I showed you that had that JS on there, what I'd done is I'd stitched all the way around and I'd left that small opening. So this is where I'm going to get all of my stuffing and my lavender in there, because obviously these are lavender pockets. It's important that they smell like lavender. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a mixture of lavender and stuffing, just so I'm not sort of wasting any lavender. And it means that this stuffing, what I can do is I can poke it all the way down into those corners. If you can't get your finger in those corners, just use something like anything you got on hand, a paintbrush, dye pick. I'm using my glue gun accessories. So I'm just going to get this in the corners, just pulling apart little bits. Just kind of poke it in there. And then I'm just going to take some dried lavender. You can get this from several different places. I think I got mine just on Amazon. So just look around and see where you can find it. But it's quite cheap, like relatively well priced, and you can find it in multiple different places, and depending on how much you want, you can buy like a certain gram of dried lavender, and obviously it smells incredible. So just kind of taking little handfuls. Don't worry if you've kind of making a little bit of a mess, just gather them up, maybe have a piece of paper or a mat or something like I have underneath, and I'm just again just popping that lavender into all of those corners and fully stuffing it in. So I'm still putting a lot in, guys, even though I've already put some stuffing in as well, and I'm going to finish it off with a little bit of stuffing as well, because you want it nice and full. And then I'm just going to take a little bit more of that stuffing. I just kind of like to pull it apart in little bits so I can get it exactly where I want it. Like so. Make it nice and plump. And then I'm going to get that thick needle that we used from before. I'm just going to push that lavender to one side. It's like, it smells incredible in here now, guys. Like, it's so lovely and calming. I love that smell. Obviously, you could use other dried petals or something like that if you wanted. I just found that like those little lavender pockets that you pop in like your clothes drawers or something like that that's normally what they use, is the lavender scent. So it's completely up to you. I'm just going to finish this off. So what I did is when I went and stitched all the way around, I left some thread over just to finish it off. So I'm just going to pick back up where I started. So I'll pop my needle back on and I'm just going to thread or stitch those elements back together and close up that hole. Obviously, if you're using a glue gun, then just do that as well. Sorry guys, I'm trying to pull it closer to me to see, but I need to make sure that you guys can see as well. And there's loads of different ways you could stitch this if you wanted to. So I'm doing it like sort of an over stitch, but you could do just a running stitch along it as well. Just kind of have a little Google of some of the kind of threads or the stitches. Sorry, that's just come off, so I'm just gonna thread that back. So yeah, threading is gonna take you, and stitching is gonna take you a bit longer than using that hot glue gun, but it is gonna be a little bit more secure. So, completely up to you. Sorry guys, I'm really struggling to to thread this needle. I did a few of them before and then I obviously needed to do this one actually on camera. And that's just messed me up. There we go. It's always the timing when you need to do something either relatively quick and easily and smoothly, it always goes wrong. I always end up doing something wrong in these videos. Okay. And you can decorate the back as well, guys, if you really wanted to, but to be honest, I found that they look really pretty just decorated from one side, so if you don't want to go to all the trouble. Ooh. Okay, I'm just going to get all the way to the end because I just wanted to show you guys how I kind of finished it off. So again, all the way around. And I'm back to where I started. Okay, and then all I wanted to do was I just did a little stitch just there, just pull it through. If you've got some tufts, it means like some of the threads haven't been fully pulled through, so just have a bit of a wiggle round, and then I'm just going to tie that up in a really neat, hopefully small dainty knot right at the edge of the felt, like so. And there we go. And just trim off any of the excess. Okay, so we've got our completed little lavender pocket. So what I would do, I'd make about 3 of them and I'd stack them up and then just take a little bit of ribbon. So you can use any ribbon, obviously try and use something that matches your kind of colour scheme. I've just got 2 here just for because I haven't finished my third. But I'm just going to do it like this. I'm trying to think of where I want my ribbon, because I want my bow on the top, so I think it would make more sense to do it like this. So I'm going to go around the back. Take your time, make it look nice and presentable. Just going to cut off that excess there. And you could even make a really cute little tag or something like that. That'd be really sweet. So just, I think, make it really nice and personal. You could, if you know this person has trouble sleeping, they could use them as little pillow stuffers or something like that, and then you can write a little note saying like sweet dreams. Like, I think it'd be really cute. So that kind of vibe, and then you've got those really adorable, just gonna do some little just kind of finish it off. And you have your little stacked lavender stars or lavender pockets, perfect to pop in people's drawers to kind of scent out their clothes, or like I said, as a little kind of sweet dreams pocket to pop to the side of their bed or under their pillow and help them sleep at night. I think they're so cute. You can have a lot of fun personalising them with the decorations and the colours, and yeah, you can practice your stitching if you guys want to kind of dabble your toes into kind of the little bit more of a soft craft. But this time of year we're always looking for something to gift, and it can get super expensive, but if you've got these dies or you want to get your hands on these dies, then head on over to the Sizzix website, and the general materials will not cost you much, and it's a really nice gift to give that doesn't require too much effort, and you could make several for different people just as a little gift and a little gesture that wouldn't kind of break the bank, which I think is really nice and really thoughtful this time of year. So I'm just going to pop back up to my forward facing camera, guys. I'll say my goodbyes, and yeah, we're good. And there we go, guys. I really hope you enjoyed watching and following along on how to make these really cute felt lavender pockets. They could easily be made into other things like hanging decorations or something like that, and you could pop them with a different scent, maybe like a festive scent as well if you wanted to do it specifically for Christmas, but I kind of wanted to keep it a little bit more generic with the colours and with the lavender inside. But there's so many different things you can do, particularly with that big die, that Christmas ornaments die. So definitely head on over to the Sizzix website and check that die out, or the felt, or the little sequins that I've used today to make this fun little soft craft. And if you do grab anything that I've shown you guys today, then you can use my discount code Jess20, and that'll give you some money off of the items that I've used today at checkout. So it's definitely worth popping in that discount code if you are looking to grab anything over on the Sizzix website. But if you do recreate this, or you make anything else as a little Christmas gift, whether it's soft craft or not, I would love to see it. Please leave me a comment and an image down below. I love seeing your guys's makes, and particularly this time of year, I love seeing everybody's festive makes, so please share them with me. I love to see them, and let me know if you guys are fully ready for Christmas, if you've crafted presents. I'd love to know what you guys are up to leading up to Christmas, so definitely please share that with me. And yeah, I think that's everything from me today. I really hope you enjoyed, like I said, following along and making this cute little soft craft star. I'll see you in the next one, but until then, please stay safe, keep crafting, and have a wonderful Christmas. Thank you. Bye.